Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. It's time for another top 10 of movies that you can watch right now, and I've got some great ones for you this month. Let's get started. Number 10, The Ritual. A group of friends reunite after a long time to plan a vacation. They finally decide to go on a hiking trip to Sweden when one of them is injured. They have no choice but to cut through the forest in order to arrive at the lodge a couple of hours sooner. During a raging rainstorm, they spend the night in a spooky abandoned house. What awaits them are things they never expected out of this supposedly bonding trip. I love The Ritual. I think it's one of the best horrors in the last few years, one that doesn't get enough praise, that has a really resonant story. Basically, these guys are there to mourn the loss of one of them and to overcome that tragedy together on a bonding trip. But unfortunately, they stumble into the wrong forest and strange and unusual things start to happen. Things that are really creepy and really effective, wonderfully photographed, expertly directed, and really just plain creepy. Number 9, WATERWORLD. The polar ice caps have melted and Earth is covered by water. The remaining people travel the seas in search of survival. Several different societies exist. The mariner falls from his customary and solitary existence into having to care for a woman and a young girl while being pursued by the evil forces of the Deacon. Big budget nonsense. I love the scale of WATERWORLD. It is, at its heart, ridiculous, over the top, and silly. But my goodness, do they blow stuff up in this one. It's incredibly fun, it's entertaining, it's switch off the brain, kick back and enjoy the carnage that you are seeing on screen. And the practical sets are just amazing as well. Silly, yes. Entertaining, yes. Number 8, Rush. English playboy James Hunt and his methodically brilliant opponent, Australian driver Niki Lauda, the story follows their distinctly different personal styles on and off the track, their loves and the astonishing 1976 Formula One season in which both drivers were willing to risk everything to become world champion in a sport with no margin for error. Rush is an actual rush, watching these characters race around this track, the exciting story, especially if you don't know anything about these characters, is truly thrilling. The exciting race sequences are what drives it, and finding these two personalities who are complete opposites but are both amazing behind the wheel is just exhilarating to watch. Number 7, Bride of Chucky. Serial killer Charles Lee Ray is back. This time his girlfriend Tiffany has revived him, once again in the form of the popular Chucky doll. Shortly after the happy couple's reunion, Chucky kills her and brings back her in the form of a girl's bridal doll. The two then embark on a killing spree en route to dig up Ray's corpse, which was buried with the satanic voodoo charm capable of bringing back the dead. Bride of Chucky is one that really deviates from the series thus far. It comes a little bit camper, a little bit sillier, becomes a little bit more comedic as well, but it's a nice change of pace and adds a lot to the series. It's incredibly fun, it's funny, it is bloody and gory, and has a slew of wonderful one-liners as we watch Chucky decimate almost every character on screen. Number 6, Shutter Island. The implausible escape of a brilliant murderess brings US Marshal Teddy Daniels and his new partner to Ashcliffe Hospital, a fortress-like insane asylum located on a remote, windswept island. The woman appears to have vanished from a locked room, and there are hints of terrible deeds committed within the hospital walls. As the investigation deepens, Teddy realises he will have to confront his own dark fears if he hopes to make it off the island alive. Martin Scorsese's absolute masterpiece, starring Leonardo DiCaprio in a wonderful role. This is a movie that, if you've seen it once, you haven't seen it. It needs to be seen twice to get the full effect of it. The movie plays differently both times, and it's the master at work that really makes this work terrifically well. It's a great mystery, and even after you know what's going on, the second watch becomes a lot more playful and a lot more interesting as well. This is a masterpiece of a movie because of the way you can watch it twice and get two completely different experiences. Number 5, Crimson Peak. Edith Cushing's mother died when she was young, but watches over her. Brought up in the Victorian era, she strives to be more than just a woman of marriageable age. She becomes enamoured with Thomas Sharp, a mysterious stranger. After a series of meetings and incidents, she marries Thomas and comes to live with him and his sister, Lady Lucille Sharp, far away from everything she has known. The naive girl soon comes to realise that not everything is as it appears. Crimson Peak is a really great gothic horror film. It's a movie that's not really about the ghosts, as the characters tell us. It's about the emotional core, it's about people, their machinations and what they do, but it has this wonderful production standards around it that just pop off the screen. Great colours, great ghosts. 3 absolutely masterful performances anchor this movie. Truly excellent. Number 4, Hunt for the Wilderpeople. Number 4, Hunt for the Wilderpeople. Bella and Hector, 2 reclusive country folk, become foster parents to Ricky, a problem child from the city. After some adjustment, things go reasonably well. However, the death of Bella means Hector now has to look after Ricky, and they don't get along too well. Moreover, her death causes child services to decide to send Ricky back to the orphanage. Ricky refuses to go back and runs away, ultimately sparking a national manhunt for him and Hector. Sam Neill as Hector is just brilliant, but the young actor that plays Ricky is downright hilarious, and seeing these 2 characters that are complete opposites forced to bond as everyone hunts them down is just perfect. Taika Waititi wrings every ounce of humour out of this, and it is a tremendous movie. The one that I go back to often, and I'm always killing myself laughing at the situations. They're just so riotously funny. Wonderful movie with a good bit of heart in the middle of it that really drives forward the emotional core. Number 3, The Guest. A soldier introduces himself to the Peterson family, claiming to be a friend of their son who died in action. After the young man is welcomed into their home, a series of accidental deaths seem to be connected to his presence. I love The Guest. It's one of my favourite movies this century, and I don't want to say too much about it because I feel that it's best going into it. It's a movie that really plays with the audience, leading us down one path before doing a complete 180 and shocking us with the rest of the movie. Really well staged, really well performed, a truly wonderful story, and highly recommended. Number 2, The Invitation. Will and Eden were once a loving couple. After tragedy took their son, Eden disappeared. 2 years later, out of the blue, she returns with a new husband and almost a different person, eerily changed and eager to reunite with her ex and those she left behind. Over the course of a dinner party in a house that was once his, the haunted Will is gripped by mounting evidence that Eden and her new friends have a mysterious and terrifying agenda. But can we trust Will's hold on reality? The Invitation is a wonderful movie. It's a different kind of horror as it plays with the breakup of a marriage, with dealing with the trauma of a dead child and trying to deal with these things, the ability to move on, the ability to change yourself and become someone else, and the inability to do that as well. I'm skirting around the edges because this one is a really playful, is it or is it not, in the mind of one of our characters, as he thinks things are wrong, but he's just not sure if it's the emotion of everything getting to him, and he struggles to cope with this. But it is a horror at the heart, and it leans into that heavily, giving us a wonderful atmosphere. Number 1, Synchronic. When New Orleans paramedics and longtime best friends Steve and Dennis are called to a series of bizarre and gruesome accidents, they chalk it up to a mysterious new drug found at the scene. But after Dennis' oldest daughter disappears, Steve stumbles upon a terrifying truth about the supposed psychedelic that will challenge everything he knows about reality and the flow of time itself. Anthony Mackie stars in this movie that is literally a real trip, as we see these paramedics start to piece together information as one tries to deal with a missing teenager that has just vanished, and the other deals with this drug and the mysterious circumstances that it causes. We get another movie that I really can't tell you too much about because I'm going to waste it. It's a real surprising twist, and where it takes the movie is really fun and different and energetic, and it's one of these tales that has some really wonderful visuals as well as things happen in front of our character. And seeing the journey that Mackie goes on is just a wonderfully entertaining trip. This is a really great low-budget science fiction movie that I highly recommend. So there we have it. 10 movies for you to check out this month. I hope you find something there that you're going to enjoy, and maybe something that sparks a little bit of interest and keeps you busy this month. If there's anything I've missed off my list, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.